Peymon who?
Mottahedeh.
Peymon Mottahedeh. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government. Hello to my truth and freedom-seeking friends. I'm Peymon Mottahedeh, the president of Freedom Law School, which I created in 1996. In over 30 years, I have not filed or paid any income or payroll taxes openly, and have taught other Americans like you to be able to do so legally and safely. In this presentation, I will cover the topic of why you do not need fear the IRS. I'm going to debunk the IRS myth of power and invincibility that they're going to get you if you don't file and pay federal income taxes. They'll put you in prison. They take all your bank accounts and paycheck, your home and property. That's all a bunch of lies and gobbledygook. So let's get into this fun presentation. First, I'm going to just remind you a little bit about Step 2. We covered in Step 2, when you file a 1040 income tax confession and trap form, you put the rope around your own neck. You sign a piece of paper under oath, swearing that you owe the IRS money, folks. That's the biggest problem. That first, we got to do a quick review of that. I'm going to come back to it. So now, let's go to Step 2 again. And you got to have stopped filing income tax forms. Let me remind you, when you sign the IRS Form 1040, it's an income tax confession trap form. And by doing so, you put the IRS noose around your own neck. And how you do that is by you stating under oath. You swear that you owe the IRS money. That's what that 1040 form is. It's a confession form. And that is how you give the IRS the power to audit you, empty your bank account, steal your crypto, steal your property, and put you in prison. You enable them all yourself. So here we are, folks. Again, you see that 1040 form? Under penalties of perjury, you claim that it's all true, correct, and complete, and you owe the IRS money, as you can see on line 37. Now, having seen that, let's now jump into Step 3, realizing that the IRS is over 99% bluff. Well, to recognize that, folks, the IRS truly is over 99% bluff if you don't file those 1040 income tax confession trap forms, okay? We have to learn some more facts, but first, let me give you the psychology they got on you. The corrupt major media, the same ones that lied to you about so many things for decades, and you know about these lies. They've told you with their experts online, on MSNBC, Fox, CNN, ABC, and New York Times, and LA Times, and all these crooked publications, that you better file your 1040 income tax confession form or else, you'll be in trouble. But the IRS really is a Wizard of Oz creation of the corrupt major media. And charismatic preachers, along with the IRS and TV and news media, have worked together to push your buttons of fear, adoration, relaxation, apathy, and they're telling you to pay your taxes, pay your fair share. Even if you don't have the money, put that rope around your neck, that confession you owe the IRS money, so you don't owe them any more penalty or interest. That's what they've done to you for over decade after decade. Now, let's get into it now. First with this, again, I want you to see this cartoon, 2 minutes from A Bug's Life, and this really represents the IRS. The establishment, the powers to be, the big banks, corporations that own the IRS, that own the politicians, the system that made you a slave of these crooks and criminals, and by deceiving you, that's how they've done that. So let's watch this very short clip. The grasshoppers are the enslavers, and who the people are the ants they're talking about.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? Well, how about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
Okay, so now you need to understand the very critical fact that you all want the IRS to leave you alone, but the best way to have the IRS leave you alone is to stop filing 1040 income tax confession forms. Because back in 2017, IRS literally stopped going after people who do not file 1040 income tax confession trap forms for the following 7 reasons. Here we are. Number one, and most amazing, is that the number of non-filers is overwhelming to the IRS. That's right. In 1998, the IRS admitted that about 63 million Americans who they expected to file 1040 income tax forms for 1996 tax year did not file. With a population of over 330 million in 2022, the number of non-filers is now around 80 million. That's right. I know you think that's crazy, that's not real, but that is the truth based upon IRS's own numbers. I'm going to show it to you right now, folks. Here it is. This is a letter, September 24th, 1998, from the Department of the Treasury, Internal Revenue Service in D.C., to Mr. Dwan Abel in Oregon. And in the second paragraph, you see, they say, based on our 1996 tax filing program, we estimate, they don't know, they're guessing, folks, they don't even know, there are approximately 63 million taxpayers who have not filed a tax return. See, approximately. They don't even know exactly how many of you is there. It's not like they're watching you. It's just a big number, right? Because they don't have a count of non-filers, really. They're not watching you like you think, okay? 63 million taxpayers who have not filed a tax return and initially would appear to have a legal requirement to file. See, and this estimate is based upon data available to the service on the individual master file. They have your W-2s. They have your 1099 forms. You think, oh no, they know how much I made. They're going to come after me because my employer gave a W-2 to the IRS. This companies I worked for, the 1099 me or K1 me with a partnership, they know they're going to come after me because of that information return that was sent about me to the IRS. But they don't. I'll show that to you momentarily. You're going to just absolutely love this stuff. IRS is really weaker than you think. The fact is, folks, remember this. Ask yourself, are 80 million Americans in prison for not filing 1040 income tax forms? Of course not. Are millions of non-filers paychecks, bank accounts, and homes in danger of being taken by the IRS? Of course not, folks. Come on. It's all a myth, propaganda to deceive you. Okay? Now, the number 1, 2 reason why the IRS is leaving non-filers alone, that's the best way to have them leave you alone, is that the IRS is losing most of their employees and having a hard time replacing them. 52,000 of the current 79,000 employees of the IRS are projected to leave the IRS by 2028. And this is all not my claim. This is the IRS Commissioner's report to Congress in 2022. Here it is, folks. In our Step 3, you can see it all for yourself, that this is not something made up by me, verified for yourself. And most of these people leaving are because of their retiring. 35,000 of them are retiring. The old people, folks, with decades of experience are retiring and hiring a bunch of people in their 20s who don't know that much yet to replace these people who have decades of knowledge and experience. Now, let's go to the 87,000 issue. 87,000 IRS agents. Oh, they're going to get you with the 87,000 agents. No, there's a video on this topic. IRS got authorization to hire 8,700 employees each year for 10 years. Not 87,000 at one time, like the corrupt media told you. So, but there's more. You want to watch this video for yourself, okay? But let's go on to the number 3 reason why the IRS is leaving non-filers alone. For over 40 years, the IRS has failed to fix its antiquated computer systems and has now suspended most updating initiatives. It is the oldest computer system in the federal government. That's right. They run on COBOL and assembly language. Yes, COBOL assembly language I had in 1980 in college in California. They don't teach that anymore for decades in colleges anymore. No one knows how to even run those doggone COBOL assembly language computers going back to the 1960s. Okay, so here we go. This is now from the government's own reports. The suspension includes the IRS's most vital database. From a 2023 U.S. Government Accountability Office, Government Accounting Office reports IRS recently suspended operations essential to replacing the 60-year-old individual master file, the IMF. Accordingly, the 2030 target completion date for replacing the IMF that the IRS announced last year is now unknown. They cannot even come up with a hope date years down the road how they might be able to fix this thing and change, update it to AI, artificial intelligence. You heard in the media. They can't do that. You cannot blend this old stuff of 1960s with 2020 technology. They just don't mix. It doesn't work that way, okay? Let's now go to step number, the 4th reason why IRS is leaving non-filers alone. The IRS cannot even keep up with filers who have confessed to own the IRS money. That's right. Forced collections levies are down by more than 90% since 2011. And this chart right here from the U.S. Taxpayer Advocate Office tells you in 2011, look at that, the top green line, they showed the IRS levied about 3.7 million bank accounts and paycheck and other forced collections. But by the time they got to 2021, look at that. Number was down to only 300,000. That's over 90% drop in levies from 2021 to 2011, 2021. Any business with that kind of a track record would have gone broke and bankrupt a long time ago. But no, the communist IRS that nobody owns, nobody's in charge, they're all just getting a paycheck, no matter how good or bad of a job they do, they just get paid by the Congress and they keep doing a poor job. And the reason, Bobby, for this is because they do not have enough people to even answer your phone calls to allow you that confess to own the IRS money on your 1040 forms to let you make a payment plan to pay them off. And if they do not have enough people answer phone calls, guess what? And they leave your paycheck and bank account, you can't pay your rent, you can't buy gas or groceries, you're going to be upset. You're going to be calling IRS, see a local visit, call your congressman, and then when they cannot resolve it because they don't have enough agents, you become a patriot. You become a revolutionary against this corrupt government that takes your money, and they don't even take your calls. That's why they were forced by reality to cut down on the number of levies they do by over 90%. Now, really, IRS is truly imploding. There's another video on this topic here you want to watch. I'll go into that issue in more detail for you. Okay. Now, here's the reason number 5. IRS is leaving non-filers alone. It is far more profitable for the IRS to go after filers than go after non-filers. The IRS collects, folks, $300, over $300 from filers for every $1 they spend on filers. Whereas IRS collects under $3 from non-filers for every $1. Same dollar the IRS spends. So, would you rather be IRS and collect for every dollar under $3 or over $300? Well, duh. That's pretty obvious. They're going to focus on filers who have confessed under oath they owe the IRS money. Of course, let's not forget, they got your accountant, your CPA, your tax attorney in there to scare you saying, listen to me, I'm the expert. Don't listen to this crazy whack on non-filer patriots. You'll be in trouble. IRS get you. We'll get you. Listen to me, the authority. I'll keep you safe. And that's how they keep making money off of you, folks. The system's so corrupt. I'm not saying your accountant, CPA, tax attorney is a bad guy. They just don't know. They're enslaving you. They've been brainwashed to brainwash you and keep you enslaved. Let's go down now to the 6th reason why IRS is forced to leave non-filers alone. By the way, the documentation about everything I tell you is right here. Here's IRS says, budget, how much they spend, okay, and how much they collected. That the numbers are based upon their own numbers. You can see right here. The number of that they make less than $3 from non-filers is right here from this chart. Right here, the report you can see for yourself. They collect only $2.25 when they spend $1 on non-filers. So I'm not making this stuff up, folks. The source document of everything I'll tell you is right there on these pages. You can click and read in more detail the verification for yourself. Now, for the above reasons, folks, in 2017, IRS management decided to leave income tax non-filers alone. That's right. Here's a report, folks, in 2017, okay, that came out. September 2017, essentially, IRS is leaving non-filers alone. And this chart on the right-hand side, folks, really, figure 6 says it, okay? You see this on the right side? This number of non-filers used to get some letters from the IRS, some scare letters only. Not really coming after them. They used to send over 1 million letters to non-filers, okay, in year 2009 and 2010, which often scared some people to go and file an income tax confession forms and be slaves. 1 million letters, toothless, computer-generated letters were sent out back in 2009 and 10. But even those letters went down, crashed through the years. 2011, 12, 13. By 2017, it became near zero. That's right. Near zero. So basically, IRS management chose to leave 99.9% of non-filers alone. That is in numbers from this chart, from this report, which I happened to come across about 2 years ago. I was blown away. I thought, what? These guys are really leaving non-filers alone. Okay? So to further make this point clear for you folks, let's go to the 7th reason. Okay? We're going to get to that. By the way, here's the report. The IRS was warned by Treasury Inspector General, auditors of the IRS. Look, you do not suspend the F.E.A.R program, which is a program coming after non-filers. Go after them because it's bad. If these non-filers realize they can be free, no longer slaves, they're going to tell other people. And all these filers, they're going to gradually, they'll stop filing and being slaves also. We need the slaves' money, American slaves' money. We cannot let that be the case. But the IRS said, nah, sorry, folks. We don't have enough money to come after these non-filers. We're going to focus on filers. That's the easy money. We don't have enough resources, enough money or people, okay? So here we go now. This is from another report in 2020 by Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration. On the top right, you see it says high-income non-filers owing billions of dollars are being left, not being worked by the IRS. That's right, owing billions. So IRS basically refuses to go after extremely rich non-filers. Some of you who are rich, you think you're rich? You think IRS will come after you because you're a millionaire? Right? Or some famous person. I'm a patriot leader. I'm a broadcaster. I got this big non-profit that, attacks government corruption and criminality, exposes them. They're going to come after me for sure because I'm a very important person. They'll come after me for sure if I don't file income tax. So I'll remain a slave because I have to be safe. That's what you think? Think again. In this report, U.S. Treasury auditors gave the IRS a list of 100 richest income tax non-filers who each would owe the IRS about $100 million, and recommended to the IRS to go after these people for taxes. Easy $10 billion, right? You'd think IRS would say, oh, sure, no problem. We can get 10 agents. 10 of you, go after each of you after 10 of these billionaires. Easy money. Right? But no, the IRS didn't do that. Okay? The IRS is so broken, disorganized, lazy, and irresponsible that the IRS refused to commit to going after these extremely rich, high-income non-filers. That's right, folks. This communist entity, nobody owns them. Again, they get paid the same paycheck, no matter how good or bad a job they do. They don't care. No skin off their back. See, that's how bad it is. That's how the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. This powerful communist empire of Joseph Stalin by iron fist was not brought down by some military coup or power structure. It was the people simply said, enough. We're not going to support you. And the whole thing imploded from within. And that's what's going on within the IRS right now that the corrupt major media has not been telling you. Okay? So, let's bring you more perspective on this issue. It is impossible for 31 U.S. tax court judges to go after or give trial to 80 million non-filers. That's right. There's 80 million non-filers. And if you don't file, you do not give up your right to trial. The filers, they give up the right to trial to challenge the IRS because they confess under oath that they owe the IRS money. But guess what? You non-filers don't. You preserve your right to trial. And they do not have enough judges to hear cases for about 80 million non-filers. The trials take too much time, folks. 80 million people with 30 people? It's crazy. This chart is from IRS's own tax court's own website. Not my opinion. And basically, folks, it's like the IRS has only one judge for over 10 million Americans. That's right. One judge for 10 million Americans. You know, they don't have even one judge per state. Okay? So, to give you that visual understanding of this, look at this picture. And this is a stadium with 75,000 people. Okay, look at the heads on this close side. Every one of these head is a human being like you, with life, who want to be free, afraid of the IRS. But there's no way they can come after all these people in one stadium. 31 judges, right? Every single year that they don't file. So to seat 80 million non-filers, it's about 1,000 stadiums. That's right. To fill up, to process and give give trial to 80 million non-filers. Okay, it would be equivalent of each judge giving trial to 34 of these stadiums filled to capacity. Wow! So there's no way IRS can physically come after all the non-filers. That's leave them alone. Same with the illegal aliens who come here in the last few years. There's about 15 million of them. There's no way we have enough immigration judges to hear all these guys. They know the scam of the Democrats is to one day give them citizenship, and most of them will vote communist Democrats. Right? So, folks, it's really amazing how people have been duped to be afraid of the IRS. And I want you to watch this other video. That's since 2015, okay? So know that the IRS has, since 2015, left non-filers alone, and they have not started again. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 cases, a local agent come after people, not the major computers, the IRS, to come after non-filers. It's extremely, extremely rare for the IRS to come after non-filers, okay? So the conclusion is this. In 1969, U.S. Senator Henry Belmont said this about the IRS. That's when the IRS was in its peak power, right? Organized, right? He said in a recent conversation with an official of the IRS, I was amazed when he told me, quote, if the taxpayers of this country ever discover that the IRS operates on 90% bluff, the entire system will collapse. Even back then, IRS was bluff. The IRS condition is far worse than it was in 1969. As a result, in 2017, IRS stopped going after non-filers. So in summary, folks, it's simple. You want the IRS to leave you alone, leave you in peace, not bother you? Okay, folks, the best way to do that is to stop filing income tax confession forms. So remember the Hopper video? I'm going to show it to you one more time. They got you by believing, oh, they're flying over, they're going to come get you. No, they got 80 million non-filers out there. They're just corralling with fear and deception that every one of you we could come after, but it's not true. As long as they got you convinced that they're powerful, they got you. But the facts, reality, is in your favor. Watch this video a second, third time. Listen to it in your car as you drive to let it sink in deep that indeed IRS is weak and you're powerful.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? Well, how about this?
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.